the end of our holiday and at the end of October, me and my family have decided to come to this stunning location of Aber Falls. Making our way over winding streams and winding paths as we head to the most northerly high drop waterfall in North Wales. This is truly a stunning location for photography and for a nice long final walk of our holiday.
So, Aber Falls, which is that waterfall behind me there, is actually one of my many favourite waterfalls in Wales. It's also one that I've visited a few times, but I've never actually done a video for it on this channel. So I thought today, because it's autumn, you can see the autumn colours behind me, it's looking absolutely stunning. I thought I'd come down and get some images in. Now, we've come quite early in the morning, but it is still busy, so I can only imagine as the day wears on it's going to get busier. It's a popular venue, a lot of people do come here. It's not surprising because it is a beautiful fall. If you look at it from here, behind me, it looks absolutely stunning. Photographically speaking though, it's not quite so stunning from here. You have to get down into the water and look up at the fall to really get the majesty of it. And that is exactly what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to get down into the water, I'm going to find a composition, and I'm going to get some photos of this beast of a waterfall. This first composition I've actually found purely by accident. Now, as you can see behind me, the camera's set up quite close to that rock, and on that rock there's actually a little leaf that's fallen off this tree above me. I'm pointing straight at the waterfall, using that rock as a foreground interest with the leaf and these little tiny falls behind it. I'll show you the composition. As you can see, the leaf, the autumnal leaf, is actually quite dominant in the foreground with the waterfall behind it. Now, because that leaf's so close to the lens and the waterfall's so far away, I've actually focus stacked the image to get a nice sharp shot all the way through. I'm using the polarizer as always to take glare off the water, but also to increase the coloration and contrast in the greens and yellows of the image. Now, there's a lot of autumnal leaves that have actually fallen down the waterfall as well, so I'm hoping I can do something with them later. The next composition I'm actually going to go for is probably over here somewhere, but for now, if this one's any good, it'll be coming up now. Okay, so for the next composition I'm going for, I've actually just come a little ways further round. I'm actually set down here quite low, looking up towards the waterfall and the foliage in the distance there. Now, I've actually taken a number of different shots here with my polarizer angled in different ways. First of all, I've angled the polarizer to take this shine off the rocks in the bottom. I've also angled it up to that foliage in the top there to actually bring out the contrast and colour in that. It's going to make those colours pop a little bit more, having the polarizer on those leaves up there. It'll also flatten out any shine on those leaves as well. Not that you can really see much up here, but yeah, it's worth doing. This is the composition I'm working on. As you can see, I've got this rock in the foreground with these two little falls flowing either side of it, looking at the main fall with all that autumn colour around it, and that is exactly the image I wanted. Although the first image I got I can't really complain about, because that leaf in the foreground I actually think looks quite nice. I'm going to have to try and get a few more shots like that. Hopefully this shot will be any good. If it is, here it comes. This next composition is a little bit more straightforward. I'm looking at that little waterfall at the bottom there with the bigger one up behind it. Now I've got my camera set in the water rather precariously, and this is the composition I'm looking at. Bear in mind there is a bit of a crop factor on the video. I've got just the top of the waterfall in frame and this waterfall at the bottom in frame. I think the two waterfalls sort of balance each other out nicely in the image. Focusing on the bottom waterfall as the foreground subject. The main background is obviously the bigger waterfall and the autumnal colours around it. Now, I am focus stacking that image because there's a lot of foreground elements that I want to keep nice and sharp, but I also want to get a nice sharp background as well because there's a lot of detail in those trees I want to maintain. And hopefully on the image, all the trees that are falling down that cliffside will show up as well. In a moment I'm going to go a bit further up and try and get a closer shot. I'm also going to get a shot up at the top there as well, hopefully looking across at the waterfall. Now, on a side note, I am having some issues with the camera at the moment. I don't know if anybody else is having this problem either with Sony or any other brand, but I've recently been getting a message coming up saying that the lens isn't compatible with the camera. Now, it's a Sony lens. It came with the camera and it's been working perfectly fine. And what I've done to mitigate the problem now, I've actually gone into the settings and I've set the camera to shoot without a lens attached. That's what you'd normally do for a manual lens. So I'm going to have to, when I get home, I'm going to have to clean off the terminals, make sure they're all nice and clean, and I'll just double check if the software firmware is up to date on it as well. But if anybody's had that problem with the camera, let me know in the comments and let me know what you've done about it. Okay, so the next composition I'm going for is a little close to the fall, right at the base of it. Well, I'm not right at the base of it, but I'm close as I want to be at the base of it. Now, put the composition up here. As you'll see, I've got the smaller waterfall in the foreground and the bigger one making up the background, and obviously a little touch of the autumn colour coming in. Now, I've got the polarizer set to take the glare off the rocks of the actual main waterfall itself. As you can see on the video, when I mess with the polarizer, it's really, really bright and shiny on the rocks. So I've actually got the polarizer taking that off so those rocks are nice and black. All in all, I think that'll make for a good shot. And once again, I've focus stacked the image so the image is all nice and sharp all the way through. And we've got a lot of detail in that water. For the next shot, I'm going to go up into the other bank and try and get a side angle shot looking towards the waterfall with more of that autumn colour in. Hopefully if this shot's any good, here it comes. Okay, so for these last two compositions I've taken, I've got the waterfall basically set on portrait orientation straight in front of me. I'll show the two compositions now. The first one is taken from a little further down, looking more head on to the waterfall. The actual white water streaming down the side of the hill with those nice orangey autumn colours just flowing beside it. For the second shot, I've come a bit further up and I've changed the composition, so I've basically got the waterfall on one side and the autumnal colours on the other, once again flowing parallel to each other down the image. That's set up on the tripod, both of the polarizer, taking the glare off the water, the rocks, and increasing the saturation of those colours. Hope that those two images will work out. If they do, here they come. So there we go, that sadly concludes my video at Aber Falls Waterfall. It's been good to get back here. It's certainly been very enjoyable, especially with all the bracken glowing on the hills behind me there. Again, it doesn't show up too well on the phone, but looks absolutely stunning. Autumn's definitely on its way now. About another week or so and everything will be in full bloom, I think. Unfortunately, this draws a conclusion to my videos from Wales for this year and for this time. Hopefully you've enjoyed the videos, and hopefully you'll continue to watch. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Give it a thumbs up and join me in the next one, where hopefully, if we can tie it up together, I'm meeting up with a friend in Yorkshire. That video will be coming in about 2 weeks' time, if it works out. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.